Hello everyone, today I'm here to share with you my most anticipated releases for the spring season. I live in the US and I know every country is different of how their seasons are, but from where I live, spring runs from March 20th to June 21st. All the books that I'm talking about today are within those month spans. I would say it really begins in April, honestly. And I just talk about what books I'm mostly anticipating that are being released that season. Now, these are not all of the ones I'm anticipating. These are just my most anticipated ones because there's a lot. Like, I think there's like 20 on this list just for these 3 months. Spring and fall are usually the biggest seasons for releases. Like, there's a lot of them. I am doing this chronologically. There will be adult books and YA books, so we get a whole lot of genres. I'm not gonna lie to you though, a lot of them are kind of contemporary because hence it is spring. What comes out a lot in spring and summer? Contemporary books. What do I love? Contemporary books. Starting out April 2nd, we have a lot of releases. The first one being Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. This is the debut novel, and I believe this is the first in the series, and I don't know much about this book, and I'm kind of trying to keep it that way. I've heard it's reminiscent of Six of Crows. Monster hidden, pale, tortured eyes, and a devastating smile. The girl with dark gods whispering spells in her head. The prince, surrounded by deadly assassins and ambitious suitors. In a centuries-long war where beauty and brutality meet, their 3 paths intertwine in a shadowy world of spilled blood and mysterious saints where forbidden romance threatens to tip the scales between dark and light. It sounds like a lot of things I love. I love a good dark fantasy book, and then I also love a forbidden romance, so like, sign me up. I've heard amazing things about this book. Definitely planning to read it. Hopefully I will love it because I'm very, very much anticipating, like top 5 anticipating this book out of all the quarter, probably of the whole year, honestly. Next up, we have The Princess and the Fangirl by Ashley Poston. This is kind of the sequel or next book in her Once Upon a Con series. Her first book was Geekarella, which was kind of a spin on Cinderella. I read it a few years ago and loved it. This one is kind of a spin on the Princess and the Pauper, the Prince and the Pauper. I forget the exact name for the story, but this one we follow a character that was in Geekarella, Imogen, and Imogen meets a actress named Jessica Stone who wants to get out of the star-filled fandom, and she's the actress in that. She wants to get out, and her and Imogen meet, and I think things happen from there. I am really excited for this one because I loved Geekarella so much. So I love that she's keeping them all a fairy tale kind of theme with a geeky twist, which is 100% on my alley. So very much anticipating this one. This one also comes out on April 2nd, if I didn't already say. Next up, also on the 2nd, is You'd Be Mine by Erin Hahn. This is about a country singer named Annie who's offered a opening spot on Clay Coolidge's tour, and he's like, his reputation is not going so good, but Annie's is going so good, and so they don't really mesh well, but they decide to tour together, and it says, what follows are 3 epic months full of adventure, love, and self-discovery, but every road has cracks deeper than anyone could see, and every love story starts with taking a risk. So it's basically about these 2, I don't know if he's a country singer, but she is, they're going on tour together, and I'm a sucker for like musical books when it comes to that regard of like kind of rock stars or going on tour. Like, I'm into that. So I don't know, it just sounds really sugary sweet, and I love sugary sweet books in spring and summertime. You guys are fully aware of this. I do not hide that at all. Lastly, on the 2nd, we have The Devouring by Christine Lynn Herman. I believe this is a debut novel. I wasn't interested in this book, and then I kept hearing a ton of people talk about it, and the way they described it was kind of like Riverdale and like Vampire Diaries, and I was like, I should probably check that out because that's kind of me. I never really finished Vampire Diaries. I know, but I watched Riverdale. Guilty as charged. Do I think it's an excellent piece of work? No. Is it a guilty pleasure show? Absolutely. This one is about a girl named Violet who moves to this town called Four Pass and has a hard time fitting in, but she meets like these 4 friends because they're all kind of descendants of the founders of the town, if that makes any sense. So they kind of form a friendship based on that. I don't know. But a beast haunts the wood, and when bodies start to appear, everyone obviously starts to get worried. So Violet with her new friends decide to investigate and to figure out what exactly is happening. So this is like a contemporary book, I would say, that's got a little bit of a paranormal vibe to it, which is right up my alley. I've heard like, I've heard mixed things about this book, but it's also reminding me a lot of The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw, which I love. So very much anticipating this one. It sounds like it's going to be a great read. I read The Wicked Deep in spring, so maybe this will be like my spring kind of haunting read as well. Who knows? Moving on to the 9th, we have Meet Cute by Helena Hunting. This is an adult chicklet book, and I don't know much about this book. I try to keep it that way with adult chiclets. I think it's about a girl and a guy that have a meet cute, and then they meet up years later, and they don't realize they remember each other, and then a romance happens. I don't know. I could be 1000% wrong, but the cover freaking looks adorable, and the synopsis sounds adorable, so sign me up. I'm all about chicklet. And on the 16th, we have Serious Moonlight by Jen Bennett. She is a YA contemporary author that I really adore. This follows a main character named Birdie, who gets a job at a historic Seattle hotel, and she gets the graveyard shift. And then she meets a guy named Daniel who volunteers to be her guide through Seattle, I think, and so he takes her to a lot of places, coffee shops, other things. There's also like kind of a mystery in the back burner. A famous reclusive writer, never seen before in public, might secretly be meeting someone at the hotel. So it's just gonna be a good time. I always enjoy Jen Bennett's books. They're just cute and fluffy and sweet and sugary and all those adjectives. On the 23rd, we have Fumbled by Alexa Martin. This is the kind of sequel slash spin-off companion novel to Intercepted, which I read a few months ago. This is an adult chicklet book as well. This is all about sports romance. So if you're really into sports romance, I would highly recommend this series. This follows a character named TK, I think. Yes, TK Moore. He is a starting wide receiver for the Denver Mustangs, and then he meets his high school sweetheart again because they kind of fell out, and now she's a single mother, and they meet up each other again. And I really loved Intercepted. It was just a great fun chicklet book with a sports romance involved, so I would highly recommend checking the series out, and I hope to love this one just as much as I love the first one. And lastly, for April, we have Hot Dog Girl by Jennifer Dugan, which comes out on April 30th. This cover is everything to me. Like, I'm obsessed with it. This is about a girl named Lou who starts working at an amusement park for the summer as a giant dancing hot dog. She meets a whole bunch of people, like a guy that's dressed up like Prince Charming, a girl that's dressed up like a princess, a knight, and all those things. She starts to have crushes. I think this is also an LGBTQ romance as well, so that's awesome. I love the whole plot of working at an amusement park. I think it's because I really enjoy two movies that don't get near enough credit as they should. For one, The Way Back. This is about a kid that works at a water park for the summer. I am obsessed with that movie. Nobody talks about that movie. It's got so many amazing people in it. It's an amazing underrated movie. And the other one is Adventureland. That one may have gotten big. It's got Kristen Stewart in it. I know, Ryan Reynolds, and what is his name? Jesse Eisenberg. I just really enjoy it. I don't know why. I like watching movies about theme parks, so I think I'll probably love a book about a theme park, so I'm pretty freaking excited for this one. Moving on to May, on the 7th, we have Again But Better by Christine Riccio. If you don't know, Christine is a booktuber here on BookTube, one of the biggest ones ever. She's very sweet. I love her. I've had the chance to meeting her several times. She's always very genuine. She's genuine. She's just as genuine in person as she is in her videos. She is the absolute sweetheart. So I am really excited to read her book because it's a book that I would read, honestly, like if I didn't even know who the author was. It's a YA contemporary book all about a girl named Shane who doesn't do a lot in her life. She's in college, she's doing good, but she doesn't have much of a life. So she decides to go abroad to England to study for a semester, and then she tries to just do an adventure or take adventure, things like that. It very much sounds like a me book, so I hope to really enjoy it. I'm very excited to read it, and I'm just really excited for her, honestly. So super pumped to put this on the list. Also on the 7th, we have The Bride Test by Helen Hoang. If you didn't know, The Kiss Quotient was one of my favorite books of last year, so I am so excited for this one. This is an adult romance book that I just love. This is a series she's made it to. This one follows Kai. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I need to do research on that, which I will, I promise. I think Kai has autism. I believe Kai was in The Kiss Quotient as well. I'm thinking of the nephew. I could be 100% wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's him, and he has autism, so he doesn't really know how to communicate feelings and things like that, or he's in the autism spectrum, which is a subject very near and dear to my heart, obviously. And then his mom kind of brings a woman over from Vietnam to help him find the perfect bride, and there goes your plot, and I am hooked on it already. So excited for this one. My friends have already read it and loved it, so I cannot wait to read it. 7th, we have Aurora Rising by Jay Kristoff and Amy Amy Kaufman, the people that brought us the amazing trilogy that is known as the Illuminae Files. I'm so excited for this one. This is a new sci-fi book. I don't know much about it. The year's 2380, so obviously in the future, we have graduating cadets of Aurora Academy being assigned their first missions. We have star pupil Tyler Jones is ready to recruit the squad of his dreams, but then he gets like a squad that's horrible. And he also gets a girl named Aurora, the girl he just rescued from interdimensional space, trapped in cybersleep for 2 centuries. Aurora is a girl out of time and out of her depth, but she could be the catalyst that starts a war millions of years in the making. Next up, on the 14th, we have The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. They are some of my favorite chick lit writers ever. I love and adore their books. This is my favorite cover of theirs, by the way, by far. Like this doesn't scream summer. I don't know what does. This is basically about a wedding, and we've got a girl named Olive who's twin sister is getting married, so she is the maid of honor, and she really despises the best man, and obviously they're paired together a lot because they are the maid of honor and best man. And then what happens is that during the rehearsal dinner, I believe, I'm not quite sure, like everyone eats something and they all get really sick, but who doesn't eat something? The maid of honor and the best man. So the bride and groom can't go on their honeymoon because they have food poisoning, so the maid of honor and best man go on the honeymoon together, and so they have to act like they're, you know, in love and stuff. And Olive, the maid of honor, is finding it really easy to act like she's in love with Ethan, the best man. She really shouldn't be feeling like that at all. So it sounds amazing. 1000% up my alley. All of these books are obviously, but this one I seriously cannot wait to read. So on the 14th, we have Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Everyone has been raving about this book a ton. All I know about it, a big-hearted romantic comedy in which first son Alex falls in love with Prince Henry of Wales after an incident of international proportions forces them to pretend to be best friends. This is an adult rom-com, I believe. I cannot wait to read it. A lot of people have been saying it's their favorite book of the year so far. They think it's going to be their favorite book still by the end of the year, so I'm really pumped to read it. You guys know I love just really cutesy books, and I can't wait to read this one. Still on the 14th. The 14th is a big week if you can't tell. We have There's Something About Sweetie by Sanan Menon. She is a great author. I love her books. They're just really cute. This one follows a character named Anish, hopefully I pronounced that right, and he has not had the best luck with love, and so his parents decide to like pair him up with this girl named Sweetie, who is a great thing. She's a track athlete who can outrun anybody in California, and she's a loyal friend, and she's also plus size. So basically she decides it's time to kick off the Sassy Sweetie project, where she'll show the world and herself what she's really made of. Anish and Sweetie both have something to prove, but with each date they realize there's unexpected magic growing between them. Can they find their true selves without losing each other? So I love a good body positivity book. I am plus size, obviously, so the fact that we have a character on the cover that's plus size that finds love, I am so about. Like, I love this so much. I can't wait to read about Sweetie and fall in love with her, because I'm sure I'll really connect with her a ton, so I can't wait to read this one. So in May, I forget the actual date of this one, I apologize, it's Somewhere Only Me Know by Marine Gu. This follows a K-pop star who is at a hotel, and she is in America. She's at a hotel because she has a Tonight Show taping or something like that, and she's on the mission for a cheeseburger, so she goes out of the hotel to try to find one. Then she meets a guy, and he is a tabloid job, and he's trying to keep secret from his parents. So the two cross. I'm guessing it's a night of romance and really cute things. I've really enjoyed Marie Gu's book, so I can't wait to read this super cute one, as of all of these. Then we also have on the 28th, The Wishes Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. This reminds me a little of The Craft, where it's about these witches that go to high school and they're actually true witches, and then an evil comes up brewing and they have to team up together and things like that. Sounds really good. I love the cover, very interested in it. Moving on to June, our last month. The 4th, we have The Rest of the Story by Sarah Dessen. Sarah Dessen is one of my favorite YA contemporary authors. This is about a girl named Emma whose mother has passed away years ago, so it's been just her and her dad for forever, and this summer her mom's family that has passed away has invited her to spend the summer at their lake house, and so she goes and learns about her mother, and you know how her mother and father grew up very differently. Her mother grew up poor and her dad grew up very rich, so she's learning about her kind of heritage and history. So it sounds really good. I'm excited for it. I haven't loved the past 2 Sarah Dessen books, so I'm really hoping to love this one because I just love her books so much, and I really want to love this one. So on the 4th, I think, is Natalie Tan's Book of Luck and Fortune by Roselle Lim. I'm so excited for this one. This is about a girl named Natalie Tan who learns that her mother has passed away, and her mother and her were never really close because Natalie had decided to become a chef and her mother kind of shunned her. So she moves home back to San Francisco and haven't spoken in a while, like I said, and she's surprised to learn that she has inherited her grandmother's restaurant. She's also learned that the neighborhood that she has inherited this restaurant is kind of going downhill. A lot of things are closing and things like that. Neighborhood seer reads the restaurant's fortune in the leaves. Natalie must cook 3 recipes from her grandmother's cookbook to aid her struggling neighbors before the restaurant will succeed. It sounds like very contemporary and kind of has a little bit of fantasy element to it, if that makes any sense. It reminds me a little bit of Sourdough by Robin Sloan. Like, I didn't love that book, but it was just so intriguing with the whole thing like that. So I'm very interested in this one. I think it sounds cute and adorable. On the 11th, we have Waiting for Tom Hanks by Carrie Winfrey, another adult rom-com book. This one says a rom-com obsessed romantic waiting for her perfect leading man learns that life doesn't always go according to script in this funny, delightful, charming novel. Sounds exactly like me. Who do I love? Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is just an amazing leading man. So yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with him. I'm kind of obsessed with rom-coms. Like, this is me. I'm reading a book probably about me. So very excited to read this one. It's probably going to teach me a lot that life's not rom-com, Heather. One can dream. Then we have Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey, which also comes out on the 11th. Again, another adult rom-com. So many of these. This is about a character named Georgie whose family runs the best like home reno business in town, and she doesn't want to be that. She wants to be a like birthday clown and balloons and things like that, and her family doesn't really agree with that. And living her best life means facing the truth. Georgie hasn't been on a date, well, since ever, because no one's exactly like revving up to take the town clown on a date. Then we follow Travis, who's a Major League Baseball who has an injury that ended his career, and now he's flipping houses for Georgie's family, and he hears that Georgie is on the market, and so they decide to pretend to date to shock her family and to help him land a new job. What's the harm? It's not like it's real, but the girl Travis used to tease is now a funny, full-of-life woman, and there's nothing fake about how much he wants her. What do I love but a fake dating romance trope? I'm here for it. Last book is coming out on the 18th, and that is Hungry Hearts, and it's an anthology. Told in interconnected short stories, Hungry Hearts explores the many meanings food can take on beyond mere nourishment. It can symbolize love and despair, family and culture, belonging at home. This has a whole bunch of amazing authors on it. You can see the cover right here with all of them on there, and I'm really excited to learn more about food and diversity, about different cultures with their food. I'm very much anticipating it. So there you have it. Those are all of the books I'm anticipating this spring. A lot of them. I have a lot of good books coming my way to read, and I'm really excited for all of them. If you have any books that you're really anticipating coming out in these next 3 months, please let me know down in the comments. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.